morning, everybody. Welcome to Commissioner's Court. It's August 13th, 2013 at 9 a.m. We're going to start with roll call. Commissioner Yower.
Here.
Commissioner Rosales.
Here.
Judge Shaw's here. Commissioner Gutnick.
Here.
Commissioner Schindel.
Here.
Please stand and join us in opening prayer.
Heavenly Father, we ask you to guide us today as we consider the county business. We thank you for all of our business. We ask you to continue to bless us in your hand as needed. We thank you for all the law enforcement and safety personnel we have representing the city county. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Number 5 is citizens to be heard regarding specific agenda items. General comments do not include specific agenda items or after county business.
There's 3, and they all have specific agenda items. Reginald.
Good morning, Reginald.
I'm sorry, I'm one of the citizens that would appreciate the speaker system in this room,
I'm getting one. I'm working on it.
especially since allergies. Okay. Good morning, and thank you for allowing me to speak to the court this morning. I'm here this morning to address item number 26 on today's agenda and to reference item number 9 from the Commissioner's Court meeting of July 31st. I just want to make a statement. I do represent Karnes County EMS in official capacity in the meeting that was held last night. The Karnes County Ambulance Association did not authorize nor endorse the statements that were made in reference at the July 31st meeting, specifically regarding the leadership of Karnes County EMS. Further, I'd like to state that the allegations or statements that were made about current leader refusing to back up volunteers during call is explained on the attachment, Exhibit A, that was presented that day. I was on call and made calls, I made calls on 2 of the 3 dates that were cited. I do not have a complaint about the leader, nor did my partner have a complaint about the leader and his actions on those days. I just want the court to know that.
Thank you, Gretchen.
Thank you.
Ms. Stinson.
I wanted to address item 28 and 29.
You want to wait till those items? Mr. Yarder?
Morning. Comment on item 29 regarding Denton and Navarro. This new year is about Denton and Navarro. It's about contacting any outside law firm or outside without the Commissioner's Court approval prior to that contact. Doesn't matter whether it's Denton Navarro or the law firm is Smith & Jones. It's still an expenditure of funds. It's in July or January of 2011. Commissioner's Court, without approval, has spent over $100,000 in legal bills. There is no contract or agreement between Denton Navarro and Karnes County for legal services. I have a complaint with the Attorney General's office. I believe they will rule in my favor that all those records will have to be released. They include any documents that will reflect they have a contract. There is an argument that a presiding officer is due outside legal counsel. And she can have that, but she would have to pay for that out of her pocket and then request reimbursement from the Commissioner's Court. To do so without, or to expect the court to pay without prior approval is just like any other service that we would request, whether it be from an architect, or the EMS for contract services. We are asking for outside services and expending public monies, and therefore we request or require the approval of the Commissioner's Court. I have searched the agenda for January 2011 to the current agenda. Never once, not a single time has a request been put before the Commissioners Court for legal services by any firm. So those funds were spent not legally. I would request that, or urge the Commissioners Court, when the subject does come up for discussion, that it not be partly towards Denton and Navarro, but outside services for any legal firm or any other service. To put the request for an emergency before the county attorney really doesn't meet the bill. There's no emergency that can come up where you need legal services on an emergency basis. As far as putting a dollar limit on it, if you have to have outside legal services, that would be a decision of the county attorney. But if the problem has come up that he or tax could not address, legal services outside would be required. But then I think it would be prudent that the county attorney make that selection and not someone from the Commissioner Court, depending on the subject of that or the nature of that particular issue. So again, I would urge that the Commissioner Court approve item 29 not as written, but generally speaking, that no member of the Commissioner Court or any other officer of the county be allowed to contact an outside firm without prior Commissioner Court approval. Thank you.
Who else, Carol?
That's all until the specific agenda items.
Number 6 is reading of minutes.
Move we approve this. Second.
All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Did you have a chance to finish? Okay, we'll give you a chance to finish. Motion carries 5-0. Number 8 is to discuss, approve, disapprove EMS project schematic design and authorize DSA architects to proceed with design development. And that's Lorraine.
I have, since last court meeting, we have worked on getting the trailer ready to be built and delivered, and we've received the survey, so we were able to work on the site layout. Previously, we were just working with Google Earth just to get some ideas on layout, and then I met with Commissioner Juvenile out on the site to look at location for the trailer, and we discussed a little more the needs for EMS in going forward, and we we revised the schematic documents to look at, when you see the site plan, what the concept here is to locate the trailer in the corner of Main Street and 7th Street, because we have water on 7th Street, and then we have sewer and power on Main Street, so that'll be closest to that, the sewer and the water and the power, the utilities we need. And there's a gate there on 7th Street that will allow us to get that trailer in there and situated, and then it can be moved out after, your final construction is finished. Then what we did is we looked at reducing the depth of the bays to just be a single bay, to be able to put the ambulance in, back the ambulances in, and reduce the size of the building in order to show where we could build the building and move forward with construction, even if Road and Bridge has not found their location and moved out yet. So it is very tight. When you look at the site plan, you can see we have a 25-foot fire lane that we located on the south end of the property, and to give us access behind the buildings. The shell building that we were looking at doing, if the court moves forward with that, for ambulance storage and then future finish out, would be located just north of that 25-foot fire lane, and then as far over on the property towards the trailer, so that we're able to get the EMS building and EMS bays constructed without encroaching on the Road and Bridge building. And because of the tightness of the site, what we would propose is just go ahead and build that shell building where we can add on to it for the EMS building. And that would give you, if you're looking at future growth, you would be able to grow into that shell building for the administrative portion of your building, and then you would be able to grow on the west side of the bays to expand your ambulance bays if you need to. And then it leaves a good portion of the site that you would be able to utilize for other functions and additional parking as necessary. So the site plan that we're proposing is the first sheet that I gave you, and then the second sheet is the reduced size of the building, where we have the back end bays, and it makes the building more rectangular in size, so a little bit more efficient in the design and cost. So what we would like to do is move forward with the design development, get the trailer moved in there, start the drawings for the shell building so that we would be able to put those out for construction as soon as possible, and then get the design development done on your EMS building so that we can continue to move forward with getting your design documents ready. And then hopefully Road and Bridge can move out, but if they can't, we're not going to be stuck with a design that won't fit on the site if Road and Bridge hasn't moved yet. And we would propose, if Road and Bridge was able to move before construction started, we would propose shifting the building over into the west, if possible. But this gives you an opportunity to move forward with EMS, regardless of what happens with Road and Bridge.
What's your estimated cost of this shell building?
Shell building, we estimated at, we estimated that at $144,000 plus whatever the site cost would be to get, but we don't have a geotech yet on the property. So in the budget range of $144,000 to $200,000 for our shell building.
And since the site has been, or the building's rearranged because of the site, in case Road and Bridge doesn't move, would the construction take place within the next fiscal year? Budget-wise, that's why I'm looking.
It should. It
So
should.
then we're looking at what kind of overall cost that I need to put in the budget.
The overall cost that we presented last court meeting was for everything in the neighborhood of $2.1 million for the overall EMS.
And what happened to the potential of utilizing the site here in Karnes City that the city of Karnes City talked about at one point?
You're talking about where they're talking about possibly building a fire station and then you know, there's concerns, some of the concerns there is the hazardous remediation that may or may not have to go on with that site. As we know, with the jail site, when I first started out here, more than a year or so ago, your jail site had potential hazardous contamination. We've been remediating that site for over a year now, and we still do not have all of the hazardous materials off of that site. We're hoping that the last test, which I don't have the final test results on, are gonna come out that in the middle of the site where we need to build our jail, that we are fully remediated. But I still don't have those final results. So the site that the city is looking at building on is, to me, has a lot of question marks on how soon and when. And it's not purchased yet. There's no plans yet for the new building. As an architect, if you want to move forward and get something built, you already have the land in Kennedy. That's already its home base. I can't speak to politics because it's stone. But
I know that there was some concerns brought up about if there was some underground tanks or digging that or something at that other location.
the other location would need to get cleared, and the time is, I mean, from experience with working with the jail, as an architect, your site in Kennedy is much cleaner and a much safer site.
Well, the only reason I brought it up is because it has been discussed before, and I think it needs to be on the record as to why it may not transpire.
That would be, I mean, I think if Kennedy builds their fire station and you need more EMS on this area, then that would be an opportunity for y'all to move in, but it could be years and years down the road. So, I can speak on the site politics.
Yeah, the only thing I think, when that was brought up by the city administrator, I had a lot of calls, I had a lot of people talking with me. The general public thought that that was a great idea. They didn't think that we should go out on our own building because it was going to cost us more money. Going together with someone else, and the city administrator stated here that the land would not cost the county any money. And I had a meeting with him after that, and he said that they don't want anything from the county on the land part of it, so I don't know if that would mean cleaning up of the land and all that too. But we could go into it with them in partnership, and there's already a building there, and as you know, Pete, anytime there's already a building there, and you add on to a building, it's not as expensive as starting from the ground up. So I really wish he would have been here, I didn't know that.
Well, but I think the other thing is, I think a lot of people said yes, but when we came up with the jail thing and all this arsenic, Carl was right. That's all I'm going to say. That, you know, who's worried about that gym property? Did no one have the same thing with his property?
It goes to show it, just from my experience too, that this area probably has land contamination. But over there, that's been a road and bridge facility a long time. They're gonna find something to that land too. They're gonna find something in all the land, that's their job.
But the area they're wanting to build on is strictly been EMS for the last 4 years.
But that's grandfathered in, they don't dig little holes in the ground and check for contamination out there are. So any land that you're gonna find here in Karnes County, that we're gonna build a government entity on, you know, us, governmental property, like building on, they're gonna find something. And that's my opinion on it, don't you think?
Well, yeah, anything you look at, you know, how far you want to take the environmental issues to it, to the max, but Kennedy, where the EMS system is now, you know, I'm going to say it this way, we're going to hee-haw and kick this thing around forever, and you know what, nothing's ever going to happen. I mean, it's like the jail, we kick the jail around now, and soon everybody will hear that the expenses have gone up on that due to time, we're always waiting. We got a thing now that we're gonna move the trailer in there, and we're gonna go ahead and either construct a shell. And I have a lot of concerns about the cost. You know, I think it's, you know, way over cost, but nevertheless, my concern is that if we don't do something now, we never will. And I believe in having something here in Karnes City, but I think whenever the city decides to build something, partner with them for a wing just for the EMS to store a couple of units or a unit over here. But right now, the main thing is keeping the EMS system going with providing service to the county. And that little bit would, you know, Any way you look at it, like you're right, though, you're gonna be finding some type of environmental issue, I don't care where.
It doesn't matter where it's at.
Wherever it's at.
And it would be a little issue if it was like $200,000. I think state would be like 2.5 million. So that's above a little issue.
Yeah, but how much
But
of
that's not for that shell.
Right, I understand, but.
That's all we're gonna build now is the shell.
Right, I understand.
how much of,
Yeah, but she said for the budget next year to cover the full
No.
amount.
If you move forward with
I
the
don't
entire
think, I
project.
don't think we need to do that.
Do we need that size? Do we need that scale of EMS? 1.2
Well,
million?
when you look at the, if you look at the site, floor plan, the efficiency of when
It's been elaborate.
you have a living and a dining room and a kitchen that you have to have for the officers, and then you have a male and female bathroom, and then you have 6 bedrooms, 4 of those can be used now, and 2 of those can be future. When you look at the efficiencies of laying everything out, trying to squeeze, say the living room's a foot smaller, the ideal size is gonna be where it is right now. You save a foot, you're not saving very much money. In other words, we're building pretty much the smallest building that you can build in order to serve your EMS. The core portions can stand whether you add more bedrooms or not, but kind of comes down to you need a certain amount of, you need bathrooms, you need the bedrooms, you need the kitchen, you need the dining, you need the living room, etc. You have a meeting room that we have in here, and a couple of offices and a laundry. And there's not a lot to, it's laid out efficiently. We squared it up because we all know that if we build a box or a rectangle, it costs less money than, if we carve out here and there. If I carve out and say, okay, we're gonna carve out a few feet here and a few feet there, and then we're not ending up as a rectangle, you're losing your efficiency there also. So I feel like, yes, sir, that, and when with any facility that you visit, the smallest facilities is what this is modeled after. And it's designed so that it can grow and it can expand, but it's modeled after the smallest facilities that are out there.
All right. Let me ask the question differently. Okay, we have approximately 5,500 square feet in the shell building, and that's gonna cost $144,000 a week to park ambulance in it and have electricity. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right.
They could go to 200,000.
Okay, and then by the time we get done, about $200,000. All right. So we're gonna have a trailer house sitting there that they can stay in. Okay. And if we complete this thing and build all the bedrooms and bathroom and everything in, that's what it's gonna cost, 1.2 million.
2.1 million, yes, sir.
that thing what we cut out?
Well, I have not dropped the price based on reducing those bays, but with where the costs are coming in right now after bidding, I don't want to drop it until I go back and talk to some subs, because even when you talk to the subs and they give you a number, bids are coming in higher out here. I mean, people are not holding their costs, people aren't holding their materials costs. They'll give you a 15 or 30 day versus, so every 30 days your prices are rising and costs are just going up, up, up. So no, I haven't dropped it because I'm concerned about dropping it, because some of the subs that we talked to on other projects, their prices are coming in higher when they bid. So I'm gonna go back to them before I drop it.
So if we just build a shell, what do you think demolition costs will take?
Yeah, I don't have that broken out separately to demolish your little building. I mean, I can get all of that for you, but.
Down, you probably slam the door hard on the But you got to look at demolition, all that stuff off, all that cost got to come in, and then relocating what utilities you would need. But, the prudent thing to me right now would be to, we're getting a trailer, build a shell, insulate it with the store units and supplies, and then after that, we'll still have the trailer there for people to work out of if we need to, and then eventually maybe see what it looks, we can better get some firmer cost and then extend it as we go. Or maybe we can go ahead and do the slab at one cost and finish it,
We can phase it if you want to. The only thing is also, again, it's a small building. So by the time you phase it, every time you bring someone down to mobilize, not only as time passes, prices are going up, but you're remobilizing, et cetera. And the cost of getting people coming on-site and off-site could really nullify almost any savings. The most, because of the size of the building being smaller and the efficiency, really, the contractor coming in and just knocking it out is gonna be your most efficient and cost-effective way to do it.
This really isn't like building a hay barn on a little field. You know, it's, you're gonna have, yeah, you got walls and stuff, but you start putting insulation and you start putting offices and stuff, it's gonna cost. It's gonna add up. I hate 2.1 million.
The thing that it's gonna do for you is set you up for the future, because the way that it's laid out, you can expand, you can grow, and you have a building that really is, this EMS building should be able to serve this county until you need another facility in another part of the county. So it really should be a permanent investment in the future.
Or do you go ahead and buy a bunch of modular buildings and tie them all together, and after several years, you've got the same issue? And I personally think we have to build this thing in phases, over time.
Even if we would just build a shell building and at that amount, we can always use it for something else for the county if we decide to move.
And that's where we have,
The Alpine City gets their facility built, and they get it clean and everything else. They can always call an ambulance there. And you have, it just expands services for the county.
And we eventually, or you start telling all these cities, look, cities, form your own EMS systems, go from there. And I don't think that's gonna happen.
Has the court actually made the decision that we are going to keep our local EMS paid system, or whether it's going to be privatized? Because if we're going to privatize it, does the county need to build the facility and provide it for whomever the company is that privatizes? If that's the direction
If
it's...
we lose our tax base more than what we have now, privatization is like, it's not, and we can't. we're talking
What
about
did you
that.
say? I
It's
can't
not-
hear.
It's not, I don't think it is.
But
So if we lose our sales tax base, that privatization of EMS is going to be really hard to fund.
But I would like to see us build this thing in phases, personally.
I mean, and Shelby's been doing this for forever.
The trailer can serve as sleeping quarters, office, meeting space for a while. We want to go ahead and build a shell with enough size where we can put units in, and supplies, and operate out of. And then over time, we can add, maybe extend, and maybe we get better cost when things later on. A full blown out building to me is not an issue at the time, at this current time. It's just getting a decent place to stay, as well as having a good place that's, you can work out of to sustain services to the county, which means, being able to park your units in there securely, keeping all your supplies in a secure location, clean, and then providing services.
So when you say a shell array, does that mean there will be overhead doors to secure the units?
yes, sir. I mean, yes,
Some,
ma'am.
some type of storage for supplies, locked doors, closed-in area, not just a
The,
big free wall facility that,
right now, what we have currently is just a metal building with the structure insulated with your overhead doors and your man doors. I don't have separate partitions in there for storage, but that would be very minimal. So we could, if the court wants to, we could go forward with the complete documents on the shell. We could move forward with the design development on the EMS portion so that we can get better pricing and more information back to the county next time with the shell building and more solid numbers. Because the farther we are on the design, the more the solid the numbers are going to be.
Is there any homeland security grants or stuff like that now that are for hardening buildings or for construction of stuff like that?
I can check with people that I know that do grant writing and see if there's anything that they know of.
But I think we need to start the first phase of this, and that's, we have the trailer and get the shell. And then we can plan, you can plan 2-3 years down the road and do what we gotta do. But we gotta get something we can start working with.
Well, and last night, I went to an EMS meeting, and Gretchen was there at the meeting, and I think Danny was there at the meeting, and it said in the EOC building, which is our Emergency Operations Center, and we got there, and I asked him, I said, Gretchen, why are we meeting here? She says, well, if we get to the building over there, there's no, some of the walls are kind of caving in, there's no place to sit, and so some have to take the top bunk, and some have to take the bottom bunk, and we didn't know how many people were gonna show up. That's a horrible way for the people that are out there taking care of us to have to function. You know?
This building gets built. Later on, the plans are to install this inside this building, right? Is that what you're saying?
No, sir, the plans are to build the storage, the original storage building would be here. This building that you're looking on the floor plan would be built next to it. This would give you future expansion if the building grows, and it would also allow you to create a meeting room. We talked about different needs that the county might have, possibly for weight area. Almost all the EMS facilities have a weightlifting area. We did not include that in our floor plan because of cost, but that's something that you could have in this shell building. So the shell building can be finished out for whatever needs the county has, whether it just directly relates to EMS, whether it relates to meeting areas in that area in Kennedy for people to the public to be able to meet, for whatever needs that the county would have. And then it would also allow future expansion if you need to grow that direction, because you can see how tight your site is. You really don't have room to expand in the future other than into that shell building and then over to the west when Road and Bridge leaves.
Or having been involved in jail property with environmental cleanup, having spoken with Jim Hill of Union Pacific, the owner of the railroad property there, I was told on jail property, TCQ did an environmental cleanup and it should be good. Well, we found out it's not good. Jim Hill told me we did an environmental cleanup and it should be good. So we don't know about that. So it's gonna be a while before we know. I think we need to move forward with something. I think we do the shell building. And that's something, we have EMS personnel who are willing to stay with the county. I think we need to go ahead with this.
Quite frankly, we're going to go to a paid service, the way I understand. And you want to get quality people to come in and work within the county, you need a decent place for people to work. Right now, nobody wants to come work in an ISO, or work out of an ISO.
All right. Can I ask you something here? Right here. Okay. This is which is the first piece that you're, that piece right there. And then this would be the add-on,
This
right?
is the after. Yeah, so we would start here.
That has 111 feet from into the cover, right? And then if you're gonna take off from there to here, that has 113. Add that up, that's maybe 92.
Then I could draw that one first. Should be 19. That should be 19 plus 60 plus 82.
This would be the add-on.
That would be the add-on.
This area right here would not have any kind of roughed-in plumbing, electrical, anything in there.
We would just have power, just have the lights.
That's it.
And yeah, we may leave a block out for, you know how like when you build strip centers and retail centers, they leave a block out in the back for future plumbing, we can probably leave a
We'd
block
have to have
out.
water.
Yeah,
You'd
yeah.
have to have water in there to clean up stuff.
So that
Yeah, we
100
probably need to hose them. I mean, we need it minimal, very
Right,
minimal.
it will be roughed in with plumbing, there's not gonna be an issue after on, if there's ever an add-on afterward that we have.
We can either sleep it or we can leave a block out for utilities.
And also put in a bathroom.
I don't have a bathroom in there right now. We've got the bathroom in the trailer. If we want a bathroom, we can certainly put a bathroom. I need to meet with, if we vote to go forward, the court votes to go forward, I'll meet again with the EMS and look at it closer.
Yeah, because any building, even if it's a building here, there's gonna be ambulances and everything, it wouldn't be feasible for them to walk all the way back to the trailer, they would need some kind of bathroom in there, toilet.
It's true. And also, this building could end up being another meeting facility or training facility for the county. I mean, we could be bringing people in there just to have trained, sheriff, it could be a multiple use building.
That's why we would have to at least rough in the plumbing.
We're talking about a 2,000 square foot shell building for a cost of about $100 a square foot. And a place to park our ambulances. Is that correct?
It's close to 3,000 square feet. It's, right now it's 55 by 54, so 29,700.
That's for approximately $200,000.
So let's,
Of course, that estimate will go up if we're gonna do plumbing and.
we'll need to have a bathroom. I need to add a bathroom in there, which should be minimal.
I need numbers for my budget.
Yes, ma'am.
Luana, we have,
Oh, we're-
last year, we have 500,000 that we had put in for a building, correct? And then there's, of course, we've spent some of that for the trailer and other incidentals. So we actually have some of that money.
Right,
That
yeah.
hasn't
Right now.
been spent in the current year.
We've spent a very
Correct.
minimal
Yeah.
amount.
But I still need,
I
That's for next year,
understand,
though.
I understand, but I want to make that clear that
Right.
that we're not just pulling extra money out. There is money in that budget.
And most of it's gonna, I mean, if we don't use it, it's going back into unencumbered funds. Just because it's budgeted doesn't mean it's spent.
You said there would be electricity, it's in there, but what amount, like, there's gonna be? enough?
Right now I have minimal. Right now I have the minimal, just to get the lighting and, you know, put your lighting in there, get some plugs.
You have to have lighting, and you have to have, there's plugs that you have to plug ambulances in, and you lock in, so they're always charging everything that's inside.
All that's
But it is,
included.
minimal is, yes, sir. Yeah. And then what I would
Is
suggest
minimal
is
gonna
that
cover
we.
what Shelby just
Yes.
said?
so if the shell building is built, the current building will be demolished?
Yes.
So then we
Current
need to
building
have
will be
that cost
demolished.
also.
And if we can move forward with the design development, we can come back with a more detailed budget on, on what it would take to demolish and build a new building, as well as we'll come with more detailed information on the shell building. Kind of been putting this together as, as we've been hearing about the need and get a trailer, get the shell building, trying to just work fast track with you to try to come up with ideas to help.
You know, if it's a demolishing issue and a cost, if somebody would be providing me a loader and a backhoe, I would gladly tear that thing down about 5 inches.
Won't take much, I don't see why the county.
We can take it down as far as moving material.
It's where to dispose of it,
We need a place to dispose of it.
because we don't know what's in that old building.
It's all, it's basically, it's just cinder block.
And we do know there's no asbestos, because when they were down just doing the courthouse, I asked them just to run over and look, and they, saved a trip, and they said, we're clear.
I knew they came in, but I didn't know the results.
Yeah, they came back as no asbestos in your road and bridge or your EMS, so that's probably the best report we've ever gotten on materials, hazardous.
Do we need a motion in, or did you make a motion?
I think Shelby said we could have a building out for everything that we need, but clean everything up, it would be nicer, but we do, like you said, maybe we could use it for a multi-purpose, even if we do something else later on. But then, if we do use it for a multi-purpose for the county anytime later on, is all we're gonna need is a unisex, or we're gonna need a his and hers bathroom?
Then we would not need that.
Right. We could use a unisex at this, but like he said, we may use it for something else later. Why break concrete and go to a big expense when it's really easy to hook up and just run another drain?
And the other thing, like I say, we can leave blockouts where it's just a matter of, you bring in your main sewer line and then you can expand that branch along
Really
there.
easy.
Yeah, I mean, we'll bring in a large enough sewer line that you can do whatever you need to do as far as your waistline coming in, and then we'll just build the.
Did you come in with a 6-inch?
I would need to ask the engineers on
A
what
6-inch.
size they would have. And then the only thing that does need to be kept in mind is, because of the site being so tight, most of your parking is going to be on the east side. So if you use that as a meeting room, people are going to, that's part of the reason I love that 25 feet is people can walk behind and then access, but your parking is mainly going to be over here. So I don't want someone later on to be angry that they have to walk, yes, because it's just the reality of if it's, now, if road and bridge leaves and we can move everything over, then, you know, that's gonna be another option, but I did wanna point that out, because,
If we get the old building down rather quickly, if we can find a place to fit it, the space with the building is could be used for parking. For the old building.
well, it can be used for parking, but if you go on and build your EMS building there,
Eventually.
then it's gonna be private, yeah.
Right.
So I'm just talking long-term down the line, if you use this as a meeting room and people are parking over on the other edge.
I'm sorry. Can I say one? I'm sorry that I'm pushing you so much, but it's that I hear it after we leave these meetings. We're the ones that hear it, that every project that we do costs us twice as much as what the people tell us it's gonna cost us. So that's the reason I'm questioning here, and, you know, my apologies, but it's my job. This building right here, does it come with like ramps to get in the ambulances? Is that an additional cost?
Well, no, your site is really flat, so essentially, yeah, the approach will come right in and your ambulance will be able to,
Because, you know, any building you build, you're gonna have to come off the existing grade. So we're gonna need ramps to get in and out, but that's not.
well, the approach, the driveway,
Uh-huh.
I mean, the driveway approach will be built up. The actual concrete for bringing everybody in, we want to use the existing approach that you already have with TechStop, because if we go in and ask TechStop for another driveway, that gets complicated. So essentially, we were going to be just building up your base material to bring the ambulance in. It's going to be exactly what you have right now, which is asphalt.
Just asphalt, bring up the base material and put asphalt on the top, all the way up to the edge.
Yes, to bring the ambulance into the building.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the EMS project schematic design authorized PSA application to design development
For just a shell building?
for the shell building. The approximate 2,000 square feet, what it said.
29.
For a call, call
2,970 square feet.
2,970.
Yes.
For an approximate cost of what?
200,000.
And that 144 to 200,000 does not include any of the ground checking, anybody to come over here and check the ground, that's all gonna be additional, right?
Right, that does not include your geotechnical, that's just your construction. So the next thing that we need to do, the court had already authorized the geotechnical report. However, we were holding off until we had the exact scope of what we were gonna be building. So the next step is we need to get the geotechnical out there so that we can get the foundation designed. And then I'll check with the environmental engineers, but this is an existing site that you're using for the same function. They told me that when you move into the road and bridge side, that we're gonna need to do some testing around the gas pumps, but they haven't mentioned that, you know, they're recommending any additional testing in the EMS portion. But I'll check with them and get that in writing from them before we.
Does your motion include modification of bathrooms, or do we have to modify something within it?
It's all got some very experience to design.
I will have to come back
I
with you
can't
when
design
we.
it this
No, I know that, but no, I know you can't. What I'm saying is that
With all ancillary complete.
we're gonna have to make any changes to it, like bathrooms or something, and then of course then you come back.
I need to come back, when I do the design development, we'll put the bathrooms in there, we'll get the pricing from the subcontractors, you know, and get that updated, and I'll come back with an updated pricing. And then, can we move forward with the design development on the remainder of the building and at least get the design development done so we can get the pricing down better for you, or?
Was that what Pete's motion was? I think
Pete's motion was for just the shell building, not the rest of the EMS building. But if we can move forward with design development, then we can better solidify the cost. And the only thing is, the longer we wait, the more it's gonna cost. So if you really are going to build an EMS building, the best thing to do is get it built as soon as you can.
I would include design development. Our intent is to get this building built, the shell building. That's the main intent of the motion. I would include authorization to complete design.
To do design development for the rest of the building.
You're gonna in the motion right now.
Pete, okay. Your motion is go ahead, let them allow design for the shell building as well as future expansion.
At least through design development, which is your next phase.
All in favor, say aye. Any opposed?
I'm gonna oppose because I think over the shell building, there may have been more options, and because I work for the public, and they've been on me and telling me that a combination, I know we're in a bind here, we need to make something, but I think the smart move would be just to do this and wait to see if there's other options, because anytime you move a building with another building, it's always gonna be cheaper. So I'm gonna go spend $2.1 million, and it could have been $1.3 million. You know, I don't wanna be caught up in that.
She's gonna firm up the cost, but we're just gonna go ahead and get the design done.
I know, but
Yeah, I understand.
I understand, but everything costs money, it's not for free.
Motion carries 4-0. Number 9 is discuss approve, disapprove amending Grand Runs fee proposal for the Karnes County Courthouse Phase 1A project by an additional $8,000 to allow for necessary mechanical and electrical engineering services.
And this is for your foundation repair project. Mr. Luton, quite a while back, came to the court and he was hired, his fee was authorized for the architecture and the structural. As he got into working on the foundation repairs, it became apparent that the future mechanical needed to be part of the foundation repair planning process, and the fee proposal for that from the MEP engineers, he used the same engineers that had worked on the Phase 2 95% documents with Mr. Fisher in order to save money. But still, for them to consult with and do the documents needed for planning for the mechanical and the plumbing, it was a fee of $8,000. And Mr. Loon had previously sent a May letter asking that it be paid directly to the MEP engineer. And I told him that since he, as the architect, is coordinating this work, what really needs to happen is the fee proposal needs to go to Mr. Graham Loon, and then Graham Loon, because the MEP engineer is working for the architect, and you're trusting the architect to do that coordination, and then his fee proposal needed to be amended to include those fees, so that the county's not paying those MEP engineers directly. You would be paying Graham Loon, and then Graham Loon is paying the engineers. And that's typically the way that we work as architects. Our consultants work under us. But it is necessary and needed to make sure that once that new floor goes in, we're not going back and having problems fitting all the air conditioning units and et cetera in that basement because it wasn't thought through at this time.
What this includes is, the engineer drawing out where all of the electrical openings go through the floor, and all the duct work openings go through the floor, putting blocking into that, getting them located, so that we don't have to come back and saw cut that in the next phase. So we'll have all those places in place that just go in. So it's something that would, you could put a floor in there and just pour a solid floor and then saw cut it down. But this is all designed for going there. And the bill actually that he sent so far, he asked for an additional up to $8,000. He billed $4,800, which has been a bill for all the design. He would probably bill a little more than he probably billed $4,800. This is, he's already done the work, and he has billed $4,800. I think it was all necessary, therefore I'll make a motion to amend Grade 1 fee proposal to Karnes County Courthouse Phase 1A project by an additional $8,000 allowing necessary mechanical and electrical engineering services.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you, Lori. I think that's it for you, Lori.
Yes, that is.
Number 10 is to discuss approve, disapprove reappointment of Judge Albert Lavella as a Camino Real Community Services Board trustee. That's Emma Garcia. Good morning, Emma. Good morning. Hello, Veronica. I'm sure Veronica. Velma. Don't even ask me where I came up with that. I was thinking Veronica's last name is Velma Moreno.
Good morning. It's my pleasure to be before this court again.
In 2000, Camino Real transitioned from being a state-operated operations to a community services. There were 9 counties that came together that agreed that the service area would come together to create the community center and be locally governed. Each one of those 9 counties appoints a representative on our board of trustees. Former County Judge Alfred Bellick has served in this capacity as a volunteer for Karnes County for the past 13 years. He is the founding member, the remaining founding member of that original board of trustees. He has functioned as the treasurer for our board of trustees, and he is also the representative for our board at the Texas Council Board of Trustees, which is a statewide organization. It is our trade organization that is comprised of a representative of each of the community centers throughout the state of Texas. So I'm here to let you know that his term of office expires at the end of this month, and we're coming before the board to have you consider reelecting him for another 2-year period. And want you to know that he has very wonderfully advocated for services coming to Karnes County. He is at many of the functions that we have that bring stakeholders together for conversation regarding the needs of the county, and is a very active participating member on our board of trustees. So again, I'm bringing before the board the request to reappoint former County Judge Alfred Bellick.
Mr. Bellick, you willing to serve again? Are you willing to serve on the board?
Shelby's talking to you, Alfred.
Alfred,
This way.
are you willing to serve on the board again?
Yes, I am. I told him that I would serve one more term and then turn it over to any of y'all, because it's all volunteer work, and I know y'all would be lining up. But yes, Commissioner Duke, I will serve. I've been there for 11 or 12 years. I want to thank y'all, those that have been on the Commissioner's Court all this time, for appointing me, reappointing me. I'm glad to represent Karnes County. My fellow 8 board members of the 9 counties that we serve elected me to serve on the state board. So I attend quarterly meetings in Austin on a Friday and Saturday. Friday and Saturday every 3 months.
I'll make a motion that we reappoint Mr. Judge Alfred Bellick as Camino Real Service Board Trustee for Karnes County, and thank him for his service.
A second.
All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge, for all the
Thank y'all
years.
for your vote of confidence. Let me give y'all just a little report, if I may, Judge.
That's not good.
You want to go to the next one, Emma, let me do it? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. Number 11 is presentation and discussion, action regarding the yearly Karnes County match contribution of $23,747 to Camino Real, and if approved, authorizing county judge to sign commitment form, and that's Emma. Go ahead, Emma.
We're going to kind of work together here to do this part of the presentation. One of the responsibilities that I have is to come before the Commissioners Court of all the 9 participating counties to make a request on behalf of the board of the match contribution. Part of the funding that we get is general revenue from the state legislature. For that general revenue dollar that we get, we are required to bring in a match contribution, and that match contribution can be either in-kind match or a cash match. The majority of our counties do provide us in-kind. That is typically a facility. We take the fair market value of that facility and apply it towards their contribution. I have provided you with a graph that looks like this, and I'm very proud to say that for the first time in fiscal year 2013, we had everybody at 100% or better.
It's taken 13 years to get everybody at 100% or better. This, to me, is a really important piece of my job to assure that there is recognition and an understanding of the services that we are bringing to the community, that we are an arm of the county government, that we are the vehicle by which the county assures that there are services to persons with intellectual disabilities and mental illnesses in your local communities. Every county has an assigned match. We have a total number that's given to us by the state agencies, which are the Department of State Health Services and the Department of Aging and Disability. We take the population of the county, and many years ago we agreed that we would reduce out the prison population for Karnes County and calculate the appropriate percentage that is appropriated to the county. So Karnes County's contribution in fiscal year 13 was $22,872, and you gave us 100% of your match. For that, every time that each county has, and we really are appreciative of that, we do have a little gift for you. Every time a county hits that 100% match, we like to show our appreciation. And I've got a nice framed motivational print. If you'll just bear with me, I want to read what the motivational print says. It says, working together, coming together is a beginning, keeping together is progress, and working together is success. And we feel that we have been successful in our partnership with Karnes County. So I'd like to present this to the court from Camino Real. This motivational print is framed in our work center in Maverick County by the consumers that receive our services. So it's,
They did that?
They did this.
Very nice.
So we'd like to present it to the court. Now, I also have the responsibility for sharing with you the numbers of services that we've provided to your county. So, Judge, would you like to help me out here?
First quarter of this fiscal year, Karnes County served 175 consumers, eight employees that were employed by Camino Real to reside in Karnes County. So the total impacted was 183 people were impacted by our service first quarter. Second quarter was consumers served 166, 9 people that reside in Karnes City, which impacted 175 people in Karnes County. Third quarter, 170 consumers served, impacted 179 people. For the total for Karnes County in 2012, Camino Real served 274 people. So this is just Karnes County. Now the agency-wide for June 13, the year 13, Camino Real served 961 people. And our target that is mandated by the state with the funds that we receive, we're supposed to serve 1,226 people. We serve 900.
That's the opposite, right? Our
Just
target is 961.
961 are supposed to be served with the fund, and yet we serve 1,226. Quarter after quarter, year after year, Camino Real serves 8 or 10% more than our budget allocates. And in Austin, every 3 months when I attend meeting, people ask me, there's 39 board members there like I am, how do y'all do this? And I said, well, good management and conservative board. I said, that's how we accomplish that.
Judge, I know you were here at the time. I think I met him in 1998. Vern Tapley was still working with me. And that's when I started working in the same realm that you are. And when our new sheriff first got here, he said, I never knew it was this bad. I didn't think this stuff happened. Always remember, crisis intervention does not happen from 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. Velma, she rocks. I mean, I have my commitment forms on my phone now, so when I go out to the emergency room, I can sign in on their computer and print stuff if I have to. And nobody realizes what a tough job that is. And Velma is always available, 10 o'clock at night, whatever. She never says no. She always answers her phone. I appreciate that. And I know what you're saying with the numbers, because we struggle here. We struggle hard in Karnes County. And you know, we have somebody doing in-home psychiatric care here now. And I'll show you some cards later. They just started it, so I think that's a great program. But you guys do an awesome job.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you
How
so
much unfunded mandate comes down from the legislature to y'all?
I don't have a dollar figure to that, but it is a lot. They keep adding requirements and increasing targets. And this year, though, from the legislature, I have to share that because we have had a positive budget for the state of Texas, we have received unprecedented support. I think some of the tragedies that we experienced as a nation last year really highlighted, and in previous years, have really highlighted the need to adequately serve. And for years, we've been cut in terms of the services or the dollars that we get. So in turn, we cut services, not because we want to, but we have to run as a business, and we try to work within our budget.
And this sheet that you provided us with numbers, that's all Karnes County?
This is specific to Karnes County.
So we have a county response, crisis response line to call?
Yes, correct.
24 hours?
That is
And where does that go?
That 1-800 number goes to a contractor that we pay.
Okay.
That is called Juvenile. They do an initial screening. They determine that the person is demonstrating through their screening a need for someone to go and set eyes on them. It activates our on-call system, and Velma and her staff have an on-call roster. We have a physical person go and conduct an assessment to determine whether that person is in such psychiatric crisis that they need immediate involuntary commitment. And out of those 120, there was 120 calls that came in the first 3 quarters of this year. Out of those 120 calls, there were 39 face-to-face screenings that resulted. Sometimes people call our hotline and it's not an appropriate call, and some are screened and we bring them in the next day. We can manage the situation until the next day. But of 120 calls, 39 resulted in face-to-face screenings. And of those face-to-face screenings, you had 16 that resulted in hospitalization. When it results in hospitalization, we coordinate with the Sheriff's Department, with the judiciary to have all the legal forms signed to activate a commitment.
And have you seen an increase in what since legal verdicts come in from, I guess, people moving in that have impacted your services or requesting services?
I don't think that we have had a huge influx in our crisis calls. But we are seeing people come to us for services. And we're in a situation where we're already over-serving people, right? We're serving, and we're funded to serve the unfunded person, the person that does not have insurance coverage. We cover them, and we're required to serve Medicaid. So when a person comes to us with insurance, sometimes private insurance, sometimes we have to link them with other resources because our dollars are to serve people that do not have coverage. And we're trying to figure that out because there aren't a lot of providers, a lot of services available. So we're trying to figure out how we can manage that, but it's a challenge for us right now.
And y'all offer telemed?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. As a matter of fact, in the last year and a half, one of the things that I've been very proud of, it's not a moneymaker for us, if you will, but we worked very diligently. I worked very diligently with the Prison 17, which is the VA, for this area, and we established a contract. We're one of few centers. There's 39 centers in the state of Texas, and there's about 5 that have a contract with the VA. And of those 5, we are one of 2 that have active services occurring. And what we've done is we have telemedicine equipment that allows us to link to distant sites. So we have veterans that come to our clinic sites that are connected to their VA doctor so that they can get the service. Because if it were not for that, that veteran would not be going to take the 2-hour drive that it takes to get into San Antonio. So we're trying to make services readily accessible in the local community. Another effort that we have with veterans is the peer support group, the peer-to-peer outreach. We have a couple of staff members that are former veterans that come out to your community and have support groups that are made available to the veterans. Part of that work is not just to have a forum for people that have been in combat that can connect with one another, but to reconnect the veteran to their VA benefit. We work closely with their county service officer to ensure that they have their DD-214 filled out and reconnected for them. We have some exciting things that we're bringing on board with some additional funds that are being made through the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. We're looking at establishing 2 residential components, crisis residential components in our service area that will hopefully reduce the transport into San Antonio because we would be able to manage some things locally, some of the emergencies are locally. So we're looking at that. We're looking at integrating with primary caregivers so that we can better serve the person with disabilities, with mental illness. Many times they do not address their physical health needs. And statistics show that persons with mental illness are dying 25 to 29 years before the general population. So we're really looking at the whole person to improve services so that, you have a healthy person, which translates into a healthy community, and it's just a better thing for all of us.
We see your next people are going to have.
Thank you, ma'am.
So if we have a commitment sheet, this is the little document that I need to take back with me, or else my administrative system will say, where did you need that sheet? And this is just a commitment for Karnes County regarding your match contribution.
And the match contribution is $23,747.
That is correct. For fiscal year 14.
I move that we approve the matching contribution for Karnes County, $23,747 to community authorized Judge Shaw to sign the commitment form.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
Emma, does that have the notation on there whether we want to pay it in quarterly installments?
Correct.
Okay. Check the quarterly box this time.
Check.
Thank you.
I thank you very much.
Thank you.
Will you do me a favor? Sure. You just throw this through the copy machine back there, so.
There's one for you and one for me, but I'll have to.
Where's the other one? I only have one. Oh, is there 2 right now?
Yeah.
There is 2, thank you.
Sherry keeps me straight. Leave one for your
There's
shot.
yours.
Thank you very much. And if you ever have any questions
Sure.
about our services, feel free to call me. I'm always available.
Thank you. Number 12, discuss, approve, disapprove a resolution on behalf of Karnes Wilson Juvenile Probation Department Grant Application Synergy number 270-5201.
Good morning. I am here today not to ask for money, but to ask you to allow me to accept some money. We have received a grant from our governor's office in the amount of $97,889. And I need the county's approval to accept that. I'm asking that you go ahead and designate me as the official to do all of the activities that need to occur in the grant, to include reports and budget changes or whatever is needed. That's what I need today.
You need an approval on the resolution?
Yes, please.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution on behalf of Karnes Wilson Juvenile Probation Department. Grant application, Synergy, number 2705201, designating Eva Smith and allowing the county judge to execute.
All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Did you get all of these signed?
No, I just, had, in case you wanted, no, if you want to keep an original for you, and I will get the clerk's office to send it. We'll get that back to the governor.
And number 13 is discuss act naming Al Liston with Edward Jones as county broker agent.
Okay, we're discussing money, investing money. I was getting it moved out of Falls City Bank into an account we approved Martin Ross for her a couple of weeks ago. And, so I asked that we investigate investing money on a longer-term basis for more insurance when we have enough money to do that. So, I talked to Al Missy, and he's willing to act in this capacity and give us some possibilities besides what Bob Ross will. So,
You looked into the Public Funds Investment Act and make sure that they qualify under that? They have to. According to the Act, the entity may contract with an investment management firm registered under the Investment Advisors Act of 1940 or with the State Securities Board to provide for the investment and management of its public funds. So are they both qualified to do that? I mean, I don't have a problem with either one of them, but I just want to make sure that they are qualified broker agents.
they both said they were. They both said they were. And
Okay.
So,
That's fine.
I don't
just
know,
wanna
I
make sure.
haven't investigated it, but if you give me a copy of that, I'll give it to them. And
Well, I would think they would know if they can do public funds or not. I just wanted to make sure.
all right, so therefore, I make a motion to approve Al Lissy with Edward Jones as county broker agent.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? None, motion carries 5-0. Number 14 is discuss act naming Stephen Juke with Ameriprise Financial the county broker agent. Steve?
That's the same thing, I talked to Stephen, and make a motion in the same second. Stephen Duke with Ameriprise Financial as county broker agent.
And they're gonna be both in a motion. Second, both of them.
Yes. And, I don't know, Bob else also, can't find any others.
I see what you mean. Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? None, motion carries 5-0. Number 15 is discuss amount of county funds and lengths of time for which we wish to invest county money to be proposed by investment agencies. Repeat again.
Okay. We have $24 million in the bank, $7 million is committed, is that right? So we'll be spending some for extra jail, we'll be spending some for different things. We need to know how much we want to invest, and what these companies will do, these people will do, they'll find companies that will invest it for. Well, as they told me, if you want to get 2%, you have to invest in about 5 years. Okay, how much money do we want? I want all of you to think about this. We're not going to decide today what we're going to invest, but I want you to think about it. Think about what our budget is, how much we're going to be spending in next year, how much we need in the following year, how much we need, how much we can invest for long term, for 5 years.
May I speak, please?
Please.
Again, that responsibility, the amount of time has to be set in your investment policy, and that is the point of having an investment committee to get together to figure out where we want to invest our money and how long we want to invest our money. I don't think that's the commissioner's court job right now to do that.
And do you have a county investment policy?
Yes, yes. But we do need to update it. It does not have the amount of time in there.
But you do not have that established yet. You have an investment committee, correct?
We have a committee, but that's the committee's job, Pete, not the commissioner's court. Once we decide on that, we will come to commissioner's court and say this is the length of time that we will, the most amount of time that we're going to invest in any kind of fund.
That's fine, but we are in Commissioners Court, and we have the obligation to make a decision. So it is up to these people to make a decision before you bring it to Commissioners Court. They can get some kind of idea what we're going to vote on.
That's,
Is it
the-
not?
again, that's the investment committee's responsibility.
Well, we have to vote on it when y'all bring it to us. I'm asking them to investigate and get an idea what you're gonna vote on when you get here with it. Is that
Well-
reasonable?
Well, your tone of voice isn't reasonable for starters. I'm not here to argue with you, I'm just trying to tell you, as the investment officer, that is what we are told. The investment committee, that's a responsibility of the investment committee. To decide how long we want to invest, what we want to invest in. There are certain things you can or cannot invest in according to the Public Funds Investment Act. We just can't go out there and buy Apple stock. If there's certain things by law that we can or cannot invest in. So your options aren't
If
that
you will sit
wide.
down, I'll continue with mine,
No,
please.
sir, I will not sit in. I'm just trying to tell you, as the investment officer, this is what you need to know.
Okay.
Okay, Bob, thank you.
Thank you.
I hear what you're saying, and that's why I want a copy of the policy. I think what Pete's trying to say is that he just trying to inform us as to what we'll be thinking about, what y'all make the recommendation on. Basically, is what I think Pete's saying. He's not saying the court's not
Well,
gonna,
why don't we bring it to them first and then talk about it?
well, then provide us with a copy of the policy so we can kind of,
I will.
thank you.
But can you understand that I want these men to have a chance, and this lady to have a chance to think about it and find out something about it before you bring it to us and give us 5 minutes to decide on it?
That's the investment committee's responsibility.
It is our responsibility to take a vote and decide on it. We want to have some information before more than 5 minutes to decide on it. Do you understand that?
I think what the concern is that then when it comes to us for approval, we're just making a rapid decision. So I think he's just asking everybody to think about it. He's not, I mean, to
Well,
see
the
it that they're
investment
on.
committee, part of the investment policy is you specifically have to name what you're going to invest in. Because remember here about a month ago, or 3 weeks ago, I came back to you and said we needed to put in the money market trust accounts and the FIDC accounts, because the only thing our investment policy says right now are CDs. So whenever the investment committee gets together, and Bob Henderson is one of them, Luana, Barbara, the banker, myself, whenever we get together, we're going to look at what the PFIA says that we can invest in, and that's the only thing we're going to present to you, because that's the only thing by law we can invest in. So I have the whole Public Funds Investment Act right here. Have you read it? I take that as a no.
I think he's just wanting
Yes, I
knowledge
want
base
to
in
see
their
it.
body.
Okay.
I think he's just saying to get a knowledge base. I don't think
And the
he's-
PFIA will give them knowledge of what we can or cannot invest in. And that was, what the committee will do is come back and say, okay, these are the 3 or 5 things that the county can invest in, and change our policy. I mean, I don't know what else.
Commissioners have to approve that, Bob?
Do I?
And Commissioners Court-
Yes, because we,
I think that's what he's asking.
The
I think
investment-
we're talking about the same thing. I don't
Well,
think he's.
no,
I think the court
it's
needs to
called
know what
control
the
on both sides.
possibilities are for investment, not just to go out on your own and say, well, look what this stock is bringing right now, or
I
look
don't
what
think
we
that's
can
what he's
get.
asking to do though.
And in the same instance, just keep into consideration, Mr. Henderson said during his presentation when we were discussing bonds, not to invest money for a long term because
But that's
they
what I think
expect
he's saying.
interest.
He's saying educate yourself, just don't
he's
come in
wanting
here.
5 years, and we just don't know what the interest rate's going to be.
Right, nobody
I'm gonna
does.
do 2
Nobody
years.
does. I mean, anything can
But you
change
have to
tomorrow,
make a wise
today.
decision.
Yes. And I don't think educating yourself is a bad thing. So is that your point?
My point is to ask the court to find out something about this so you don't have to make a decision in 5 minutes. Understand? Yes, sir.
Thank you, Pete.
So do you want to request, Pete, a copy of that PFIA that she has?
You didn't have to request it, I would gladly give you one.
Yes, I do request that each commissioner get a copy of that.
I will gladly make you a copy.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And then number 16 is to discuss, approve, disapprove, updating the policy investment manual to include the formation of a county investment committee is approved on 7/31/13.
Mr. Arthur.
You know what, I didn't put an author because we were all sitting in here talking about it, and it was a general conversation, and Vi said we have to put it back
Yeah.
on the agenda.
And we need to do that so I can get
And
the
she
committee
pretty
together.
much said, you guys need to do that, we all shook our heads
Yes.
yes, so.
Yeah, we need to approve to have that committee so I can, the people that y'all appointed, so we can meet.
I'll make a motion to approve item 16 as written.
All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Number 17 is to discuss act on the removal of the general sign-in sheet for county commissioners' court meetings, and that's heard.
I just request that there be a decision by the Commissioners Court to remove a sheet that has been used occasionally for as long as I can remember, by the general public to sign up on it. We just need to, if it meets with your approval, remove that, but that's not a requirement to come to a publication.
Herb, I'm sorry I didn't get to talk to you beforehand, but I'm in the regular business. On that sheet, I'm thinking, leaving it there, my opinion on it, guys, I'm not gonna state my opinion first. I think it would be okay there. The reason I'm saying just to leave it there, not mandatory for anybody to sign up on it, but just in case somebody has to come to commissioner's court and they're employed by someone, and they wanna, make sure that their employer has notification that they were actually here on commissioner's court. I know we're gonna get that system and everything, but that way they can make a copy of it, they were here. There's other reasons, there's other reasons that it would be good for some people. Not make it mandatory, but just leave it there, so if someone actually needs to prove that they were here with us in commissioner's court, their signature is on there, and that they requested or their employer requested it. We can email it to them, give it to them one way or another, and they can, they won't be.
I don't have any objection to that. My concern is that I don't want it to appear to be something that a citizen has to sign in.
I agree with her, but I think we should just remove it.
Well, I agree with you that it shouldn't be mandatory. My concern, I agree, 100% shouldn't be mandatory. It's just that, how would anybody prove that they were at commissioner's court? If, there's some employers that don't have real cool employers.
I think that probably was the original meaning for the sign-up sheet, because there are people who need records of where they've been for their work and for their spouses and for,
We can put something on commissioner's court letterhead if they request it. That's what we do at county court for an excuse or whatever.
I'd rather excuse it.
We're like principals now?
Yep.
That's just a request. I don't have any personal feelings one way or the other. I just don't want it here to be a requirement that we get later on down the road where there's a misunderstanding.
I know those concerned citizens that talked to me, there was a few of them, and they gave me other reasons why it would be beneficial just to leave it there, and I'm sorry I can't remember right now, but that was one of the main ones they were concerned about, was just proof that they were here, and I understand that we could write them something, but then it end up like a principal, like writing them or a
But
doctor's
that's what we do
note.
in county court.
That's-
Everybody comes to us and it's like somebody has to say something about, they'll always ask us, they don't want their employer to actually know why are they here or anything like that. I mean, it's a public meeting, you can come and go at will. And they've asked us, will you let us, can you say that I was in county court, Karnes County that day? And all I put on here, so-and-so, I put on so-and-so that you just say, because at TDC, if you work at TDC, you have to take a signed date stamped back with you for an excuse.
But there may be people that want to be on record as having signed in and being here, and are you going to make a copy of all those notes to go in with the minutes every time?
Well, that sign-in sheet is posted, I think it's all you've been here.
Once. One copy.
No, there's been numerous times that that sign-in sheet is posted in office. Everybody will come in and say, well, where's the sign-in sheet, or don't make me sign in, or don't, it's like, it's just a mechanism to argue, just get rid of it.
To the person if
It's
they
been-
want to sign it or if they don't want to sign it?
It's been there for 14 years.
It's been there for a long time.
I've been here 14 years, and that's a long time. I've been here 14 years, and it's been there 14 years.
And I did ask them to serve, and most courts do not use it.
Oh, they don't? Because I've gone to other courts like San Antonio and stuff, and you sign in. Everywhere I've been, everywhere I've been, I sign in.
The only time they sign in is when we're going to speak, just like in Capitol, the only time we sign in is when we're going to speak.
I'm not saying make it mandatory, of course not. You know, if somebody wants to sign it, they can, if they don't, it's fine.
It's
There's
just
nothing at
a-
the top that says it's not mandatory.
But that, I'm not gonna print that sheet anymore. I'm not gonna do it because I keep getting hammered about that sheet. It's either it's not here or it's here, it's not here. And if it was so mandatory, you wouldn't have so many old ones crumbled up and put in that.
It's not mandatory. That's what you just said.
No, but I'm saying people have signed in.
Right.
You haven't taken it with you and it stays in there. So that's not an official record either.
It's just-
In the desk drawer.
It's just a request, but, what if y'all think? I just think it has created controversy in this.
Great controversy right now.
Well, how you get past it if you don't ask?
I have,
That's a question.
yeah, I don't care if the sheet is there or not personally, because, I mean, it's a record of who attended the meeting if they so choose to, say they're there. Now, what are we using that sheet for? I really don't know, other than somebody says, okay, I was here at the meeting. And if they speak at a meeting, then we have a record of who did what. But I have no, I'm either way, we can keep it or get away with it, but it's not a mandatory thing that needs to be done. So, and if it's something we don't need to really have, then why have it?
Right. Don't have to have it, why have it? Don't make a difference to me, I never signed it. Doesn't have to be.
Somebody gonna make a motion?
Cause the problem.
Well, then I'll make a motion, we do away with this, sign sheet altogether.
I think.
All in favor, say aye. Any opposed?
I oppose.
Motion carries 4-1.
Thank you, Herb.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, sir.
The next one has to do with,
Can I read it first and then you tell us? No, you're fine.
I'm trying to move along.
You're good, Herb, you're good.
We're getting people.
Yes, we are. We're gonna get
4'3".
It's not fair for you tall people, is it? Number 18 is to discuss, disapprove the transfer of $200 from the county attorney's budget, 2012-2013, substitute county attorney, to computer expense. Purpose is to install a U-verse line from AT&T to increase our internet speed at the courthouse annex.
This is in the 2013-14 budget, but this is just to cover 2 months of service for that line to increase the speed of the internet from about 1.5 to 5 for the computers that are in the, some in the sheriff's office, some in the adult probation, and some in the county attorney's office. And I believe in maybe even the district clerk, I'm not sure about the county clerk's office, but to increase the speed of the internet to assist in the adult probation is getting all of their stuff to the internet now, and the computer system. We just need it now for the next 2 months, 2013, 14, it's in that budget.
So you're just wanting to move from line item to line item?
Okay, I have a question before y'all do that. So this is not for the entire annex, this is just for those offices you
No,
specified?
no, for all of the, I'm not sure how many offices are affected by the internet access program. The computer person said he needed the AT&T line before he could increase the speed of the computer from where
So
it is.
then technically, all offices in the building?
I would hope so. I would
Okay,
hope
now
so.
is the $200 just the installation and then we'll have a monthly fee on top of
I
that?
think he told me if there was just a monthly fee, that goes through your office, and I'm not sure if there's an installation fee. He said there was not.
Tom, what were you asking?
I have a question. I remember this very well because of last year's budget and the budget I had requested, the county judge put a stipulation on it, and I think Luana will remember it. Money in this line item could be used only for an assistant, substitute county attorney, and it had to be approved by the county judge before you can spend it. I don't think you can move the money out of it.
I think that was just so, what the government code says is if we're using special, somebody to come in and work for you, her, specifically for you, and I think you've only missed like a couple of days that you had to have protective hearings. And you can move from line item to line item, but what that was is you cannot, the local government code, it's specific, it says only a judge can appoint special counsel, not a county attorney.
Substitute counsel.
Substitute.
The attorney's never appointed special judge.
Only a judge can appoint special counsel to come, or pro tem to come in. And I don't even know where the word substitute county attorney came in. That's where it was actually a pro tem person when you're not available. And it was just being appointed randomly. And so that's what I said. I said it had to have, you had to follow the rules for it as per the local government code. Never did it say it could be line item to line item or anything like that. It wasn't a slush fund, and it was being used for a slush fund. So if you wanted to move from one to the other, you definitely have that.
Well, the only reason I'm getting involved in this is that it's very, we don't know where to go to get the funds, to get the computer upgraded from 1.5. It's not working now as it should, and it was an effort on my part to try to get this 2 months in there before. It's in the budget for 2013-14, I checked on that.
And there's nowhere else to get this 200 from this building.
Well,
That's where.
I'm sure there's some other spots. I was, that one, moved the basketball, and I was not sure. And I don't know.
I have money in the computer budget,
It's just
in
a caveat on
the,
mine.
yeah, in the elections.
Where it is there.
I'm just saying, and it wouldn't be moving line item. There is some funds in the elections that wouldn't move a line item. It's from the computer, but I realize then we'd have to come back.
But it, you know, if somebody else would pay for it, that, what could you do?
That's
You
what
know?
I'm saying.
I don't have any problem with that, but what I was.
Well, I'm just saying if that would avoid the other controversy that y'all are talking about.
That'd be great.
But we can't, all we've been doing for the last 4 months is talking about it. Shelby, and I'm going Shelby out, get
Am I
her
right,
control
Luana?
because of that. But can you do it? Will you do it?
I'm fine with it. I mean,
I can't hear you. Will she do it?
If there's the funds there, but I just want y'all to either put the caveat on your motion contingent on the total cost, because we can't just say $200 right now when we don't know if that includes installation or
Yeah, I
monthly
agree with
fees or what
Luana.
that is.
So it might be more than 200 is what you're saying? I don't know. I'm not reverse or whatever.
I would hope we could get it.
So instead of saying $200, make it contingent.
Just make
Well, I
a
mean-
motion without a dollar sign in it, and then confirmation can come back at the next board meeting of the dollar once we check.
Well, we can
the
take no
cost.
action, and then Karen can order it.
Karen can't order it till we know what the cost is, make sure she's got it in her
Well, can you
budget.
find out
to
the
cover it.
cost?
I'll do it.
Can you find out the cost?
Because we've been checking.
So we
into
can
that
take no
anyway.
action on number 18, and then Karen can help fix that
Oh,
for
you
her.
don't-
And then Karen can, because it'll probably, she'll
All
probably
right,
get.
Mr. Buster?
Number
Luana,
19.
you gonna investigate?
We have been
research
in the
this?
process of trying to get all these costs per building going U-verse, so we will confirm the cost and the installation.
Number 19 is to discuss, approve, disapprove a request by Texas Crude Energy LLC to release a $25,000 permit bond number RLB 009578 to R21 Insurance Company. Texas Crude Energy no longer operates in Karnes County, and that is Mr. Hancock.
I think the motion itself explains what is necessary. The company does not do business in the county. There was not a claim on the bond. I checked with the road administrator, and I think he checked with the county auditor, and there's no outstanding obligation against the private company.
Not that I'm
For the
aware of,
company.
no.
So there needs to be a motion to return the bond or release the bond.
I'll make a motion to approve line item 19 as presented. Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
May I do one more thing?
Uh-huh.
On number 21, we discuss, approve, and disapprove the interlocal agreement.
Oh, that PSAP,
Yes, I haven't had a chance to look at the interlocal agreement. In the past, I talked to the sheriff about it.
Okay. We can, you know, we can put it back on her.
Could you do that?
But it's already in y'all's packages.
Number 21?
There's a PSAP in there, and that's just a, it's It's called Public Safety Entry Point Services, and,
I think it can be highway technology, I'm not sure.
no, ACOG.
Thank God.
You can do that. Are you okay by that? Number 20?
Yeah, these usually.
You want to add Mr. Buckner? Number 20 is to discuss, approve, disapprove due to unforeseen circumstances, amending the budget in the amount of $1,960 to replace the wire links between the jail and the sheriff's office with a point-to-point wireless bridge. The wire link has problems with the 911 recorder situation, problems due to Courthouse construction.
And that's, also we're having problems as far as when the servers last went down. You know, we had to do 245 case starts by hand.